Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be solving the question number 2265, finding the maximum minimum value in a tuple. Okay, so what we have to do in this question, basically we have given this particular tuple and we have to find out the maximum minimum value. How we can do it? So generally if a list is given, then what we do, we will take it particular value and then we will iterate over each and everything. If we find that number, if we find a number which is less than the current number, then we will update the minimum value, and if there is a number which is greater than the current number, then that particular value will be updated as the maximum value. Okay, so that logic we know about it. But here in this question, what we can do, there is one more approach where we can simply call the function called min and max. Okay, to calculate the tuple values. So if we call these two functions, then we will be able to solve this particular question. Okay, let's try the first approach. So it's a fairly simple question, so it won't take long. So let's try to solve it. Okay, so what we will do, we will create the values. First we will initialize the values and then we can iterate over it. So here we are given this tuple value. So what we can do, we can initialize the first value as current maximum, and then we can initialize another variable called current minimum. Okay, so they will store the current value when we are iterating over them. Okay, how we can do it? Now we can initialize those values as the the first maximum value we are initializing is to the minimum value possible. Okay, that is why we are initializing it to minus infinity. So we have initialized the maximum value to the minus infinity, and the minimum value we will initialize to the value which is the maximum that it can get, that is positive infinity. Okay, now we just try to build the logic from here. We will iterate over each and every value in the tuple. So tuple is nothing but tuple 1, which is given in the question, and we can see over here is that value also, we can see it, the parameter. And if we are finding a value which is greater than the, if we are iterating over the number, and if the number that we have found is greater than the maximum value that we have stored, then we can update our maximum value to that particular number, and it will become like this. Or else what we can do, we can simply check, not else, we just check the condition. Okay, so current minimum value we will try to compare with the value, if that particular value, if we are finding a number which is greater than the minimum value, if we are finding a number which is greater than the number that we are iterating, then that number should be minimum. Okay, so that we can update it here. Okay, so this part is done. Then we just need to form the tuple and then we are good to go. So how we'll form it? We just take brackets and two values we'll put, max and min. Let's try to run this. Okay, so we are getting one error. Let's see what is that error. Okay, so it is saying like it is not able to find INF. Okay, yeah, so we are not using quotes over here, so let's do that. Now let's run it. So it is getting accepted. Now let's try to submit this. So it is getting accepted. So that is one way to do it, but it is very big. And so there's a better, is there any better approach to do that? Yeah, there is a better approach. And how we can do it? So as I was explaining earlier in the video, we can simply call the function max and then max value over the tuple and minimum value over this tuple, and then we can return that combination of the tuple of the maximum minimum value inside the tuple. Let's run it and it's submitted. So it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so if you try it, then it is very simple question. Only thing to remember here is to understand about these two functions. Okay, so the max function we can use on any set of values. Okay, and the minimum value we can use on any set of values, but these set of values of whatever we are trying to use over here, these should be of the same type. Type should not differ. Okay, max and min we can call also on strings as well. Let me try to explain that part. So if we have some string, let's say we have Australia, and then we have Bulgaria, then China, and then Denmark. Okay, if we have these four strings, okay, and we are trying to calculate the minimum value. So these strings are present inside a tuple and we are trying to calculate the minimum value. So what it will return, it will give us the minimum, so it will give us the lexicographically smallest value. Okay, so lexicographically if we see, it is starting with A, it is starting with B, it is starting with C, and it is starting with D. Okay, so it will return Australia. This it will return. And if we call the max value on the tuple of string, then it will return Denmark. So this is how it will work. So we can use the same functions on numbers as well as strings. So it is these two functions are very important. So do make sure to try a few questions. I'll explain more about these functions in the next videos, so that you can get a better understanding. I will try to solve more questions on these and we'll get a better picture. So I hope you find this video insightful. Do like, share and subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you.